The Zenith Empire's mating season came once every solar cycle, and this year, the ceremonial hall aboard Station Kronos buzzed with tension. Vashara, the alpha female of the Zenith warrior caste, stood at the center of the arena, with her forearms crossed, her chitinous plates gleaming under the artificial lights. Her reputation preceded her 7 mating seasons, 43 challengers, 0 acceptances. The males lined up before her, each one a specimen of physical perfection, towering frames, electromagnetic pulses crackling around their bodies, pheromone glands working overtime to broadcast dominance. The Zenith valued strength above all else. To be chosen by an alpha female meant legacy, status, and genetic immortality. Vashara's sensory antennae swept across the candidates. The first male stepped forward, flexing his combat-scarred exoskeleton. She detected elevated cortisol analogs, nervousness masked by bravado. Rejected. The second approached with a ceremonial roar, his bioelectric field expanding to demonstrate power. She sensed the aggression, the territorial instinct, but also the shallow calculation beneath. Rejected. One by one, they came. One by one, she turned them away. The matriarchs whispered among themselves in the observation gallery. Vashara's continued rejections were becoming a political problem. The genetic diversity of their caste depended on alpha pairings. Some suggested she was damaged, that her sensory organs had malfunctioned during her last combat deployment. Others thought her standards impossibly high, but Vashara knew what they didn't. She could sense more than pheromones and electromagnetic fields. She could detect something the other Zenith couldn't: the subtle frequencies of emotion, the quantum fluctuations of genuine intent, the deep resonance of a compatible consciousness. And every male before her had been empty noise. The ceremony ended in familiar disappointment. As the hall cleared, Vashara remained, her antennae drooping slightly. Perhaps the matriarchs were right. Perhaps she was broken. The lights dimmed to night cycle settings. In the silence, Vashara detected something unusual. A rhythmic sound. Methodical and steady. She turned to see a human pushing a cleaning cart down the corridor adjacent to the ceremonial hall. Humans, the newest species to join the Galactic Coalition. Weak by every conventional measure. No natural armor, no bioelectric fields, no enhanced sensory organs. They had been assigned menial roles throughout Coalition space maintenance, sanitation, administrative tasks. Most species barely noticed them, but Vashara noticed. The human his identification badge read, Jax Marrow, moved with quiet efficiency, wiping down panels and collecting debris. What caught her attention wasn't his appearance, but what her sensory organs detected around him. There was no aggressive posturing, no false bravado. Instead, she sensed something she had never encountered in any male of any species. A calm, steady resonance. Contentment in purpose. Strength without dominance. Confidence without arrogance. Her antennae focused on him entirely. Jax looked up, startled to find the station's most famous Zenith warrior staring at him. He'd heard about Vashara, everyone had. The alpha female who rejected everyone. He straightened, uncertain. Sorry, he said in Coalition Standard. Am I in your way? I can come back later. His voice carried no fear, just polite consideration. Vashara's sensory organs registered something remarkable. Genuine respect without submission. Courtesy without weakness. She approached slowly, her forearms hanging loosely at her sides. Jax stood his ground, though she towered over him. Most beings would have fled or postured. He simply waited, his heart rate elevated but controlled. You are the human janitor, Vashara said, her translator converting her clicks and whistles into standard. Yes, ma'am. Jax Marrow. I maintain this sector. You witnessed the ceremony. Jax nodded, hard not to notice. Pretty elaborate setup. He paused, then added quietly, for what it's worth, you were right to reject them. For Sepin, Vashara's antennae quivered. Explain. Jax shrugged, leaning on his cleaning cart. I'm no expert on Zenith culture, but I've been around enough species to recognize performance. Those guys were trying so hard to look strong that they forgot to actually be strong. Real strength doesn't announce itself. He said it without judgment, just observation. Vishara's sensory organs swept over him again, analyzing deeper. Beneath his simple exterior, she detected layers she had never sensed in the males of her own species: resilience forged through adversity, empathy that didn't diminish courage, intelligence that didn't require dominance. Humans, she realized, had survived their rise to spacefaring civilization without natural weapons, without enhanced biology. They had done it through cooperation, adaptability, and something her people called stubborn persistence. The galaxy had underestimated them, assigned them menial roles because they lacked obvious power, but Vishara's senses told a different story. This human janitor, overlooked and dismissed, radiated a frequency of strength that none of her suitors could match. "Jax Marrow," she said, her voice taking on a ceremonial tone that made him straighten instinctively. "By the old codes of the Zenith, an alpha female may challenge any male she deems worthy, regardless of species." Jax's eyes widened. "Wait, are you— I am issuing a courtship challenge." The words hung in the air. Jax opened his mouth, closed it, then laughed, not mockingly, but with genuine surprise. "Ma'am Vishara, I'm honored, really. But I'm just a janitor. I'm not a warrior or a leader, or—" "You misunderstand the nature of strength," Vishara interrupted. "You face each day without complaint, performing tasks others consider beneath them. You maintain the spaces where others live and work, ensuring their safety and comfort. You observe without judging, understand without dominating. These are the qualities of a true alpha." Jax fell silent, processing her words. Around them, the station continued its night cycle. Finally, he spoke. "If you're serious," he said slowly, "then I accept. But I should warn you, humans don't do anything halfway. If we're doing this, I'm all in." Vishara's antennae lifted, detecting the shift in his resonance: determination, loyalty, courage, rising to meet an unexpected challenge. This was the frequency she had been searching for across 7 mating seasons. "Then we are matched," she said, extending one of her 4 hands. Jax took it without hesitation. The next morning, when the matriarchs discovered that Vishara had chosen a human janitor as her mate, the political uproar echoed across 3 sectors. But Vishara stood firm, her sensory organs reading what others couldn't. That strength came in forms the galaxy had yet to recognize. And Jax Marrow, the overlooked human with a mop and bucket, proved that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe was simply being genuinely, unshakably yourself.